It's the 21st of the 6th, and in my ongoing documentation of the human rights violations that I'm unduly and unnecessarily and inexcusably living through since I gave birth, I might add. It's not just since COVID. As I've mentioned, the relevant TDs up in Dáil Éireann have been made aware of the wrongdoings that I've unjustifiably been tolerating in a community due to hate crime. This morning, the issue of medical negligence that I've been treating has been a little bit more serious. As I've mentioned, there's a loss of appetite, and the doctors that have been exploiting via NPHET from damages to my bodily integrity without respect for my bodily integrity or for my human rights have not acted in their profession's best interests, have not acted in accordance with the Hippocratic law, and have not maintained a positive relation or environment, and haven't functioned in a positive professional capacity. So there's been a hazard to life, there's been an endangerment caused in this community by individuals that have not been respectful to humanity or to democracy. I'm still tolerating the conditions I'm tolerating, and the TDs up in Dáil Éireann find it easier to ignore this problem that is actually quite serious for the past 5 years, since January 2017. So I'm in an accommodation that is highly unsuitable, and the professionals that have been monetising from me and exploiting me have not had the common courtesy in their practices to respect the situation professionally. They have been of monetisation, they have been of developments without my consent, and they have disreputed their roles and their practices to a standard that is less than tolerable. It's absolutely unforgivable that my child is not with his mother. They took a child from me in January 2017, and since that night, that unlawful act has exacerbated every day since and up to now. So the bodily integrity damages, the spiritual violence, it's the spiritual violence perspective as well that is quite serious, and the irresponsible nature of individuals that are adult, that are qualified people, have downgraded the standards in this matter to deplorability and unforgivable behaviour. So my child has suffered without me. I've been obligated to document this due to their refutations and their denials and the ignorance they're displaying to the circumstances. COVID-19. I haven't been furnished with the relevant information or standards that are an obligation not just to Dáil Éireann, for Dáil Éireann to address, but for those that have been of developments in their privatisation ventures that have monetarily gained. So these people are parents as well, and it's highly concerning the standards and example they're setting in their poor practices. I'm surprised that they'd jeopardise their own families, causing no offence to a royal avatar. They have taken exception to my position, my titles, my role, my achievements. They've been quite incredulous. They've disrespected so many facets of this situation, and having been of crime prevention, recovery advocacy, having saved and spared so many losses since 2018, the disrespect displayed by these individuals would make one question their calibre and their quality of human nature, their credibility, and it would question their credentials and whether they have the integrity or dignity or self-respect to behave properly in a community that they have destroyed with hate crime. They have been of self-serving agendas. They've ventured onto property where they are not welcome, and they have spent wealth they don't own. So this situation of substandard conditions is quite serious, and the damages to my bodily integrity that are being ignored and the constitutional wrongdoings I'm experiencing as a royal humanitarian and constant damages to my bodily integrity are all very serious matters. And today, the 21st of June, it's the solstice. Nature has been disrupted by a community in Tralee trying to steal my light, and they've damaged that light. And not only the issue of my child unlawfully from my care and the fraudulent documentation that has been issued in this community by this collective, and the disrespect to my matrimony, they're serious offences. And I hope the Taoiseach is following this, because as an O'Regan and a Griffin and a McElligott and an O'Sullivan and a Quinlan, I hope the Taoiseach is aware of the damages to the light and the delicacy of this entire matter. So nature has been brought into disharmony, and I hope those individuals that think they're smart enough to exacerbate and evade are able to rationalise how ASBO conduct has negatively affected this entire situation. So hate crime is at play. I've experienced unforgivable wrongdoings, and I've had many people, I've a very clean conscience, and that I'm in this condition on the 21st of June 2022 is a sad reflection on the culprits that have no integrity or courtesy or common sense about the agendas and causes. It's an unworthy cause. It's a very unworthy cause, and they haven't seen the light. But they've exploited the light and they've damaged the light, and they've been making assumptions, and they've breached anonymity, and they've just behaved so poorly. It's a sad sign of the times. So the living conditions haven't been improved. There are TDs up in Dáil Éireann that have an obligation to address this promptly, and they have been made aware since 2017. So the Minister for Health that is aware of the developments of NPHET, and those people that think that harming a mother to evade the reality of their wrongdoings rather than repair or reconcile the situation are proving themselves to be incompetent. And I don't use those words lightly, but as a qualified professional, I'm able to address what I need to address. I'm a responsible human being, and I'm a qualified professional that has behaved with integrity. So those that have no respect for their practices, professions or qualifications or their reputations, thinking that harming my circumstances is helping them get out of jail, I hate to say, but the single offence of January 2017 is just enough of a serious problem. So the politicians up in Dáil Éireann that have an obligation to repair the conditions that I'm tolerating unduly would be helping democracy and setting a good example to young people that are fully aware of how outrageous this situation is. A child of reason at 7 years of age would know that what my child has tolerated without the care of his mother has been deplorable. And these are adults. So the United Nations and the humanitarians that have negotiated and spared the wrongdoers and exacerbators, I hope those humanitarians are aware of my role as a women and children's rights advocate and a recovery advocate, and the changes in this society to make this world a safer place. I hope they're aware of the consequences of disrespecting my work as a recovery advocate and humanitarian and as a teacher. So is there courage and bravery present, or is there more spineless behaviour at play to accommodate people that haven't proven to have the dignity to do what's right? So if the government wouldn't mind, you have a job. I have constitutional rights and I'm of royal bloodline. So those that feel uncomfortable with my credentials and my qualifications and achievements, I hope you're getting help for that issue. But the evasion of the damages and the deaths and defamation isn't going away with problems being avoided. So if the government wouldn't mind, I have a child that's a missing person and property that's been trespassed upon. And your job is to respect the Constitution. There's been monetisation from me, exploitation and developments of research that have helped progress society. So if that's going to be disrespected, then I hope the wrongdoers and exacerbators that haven't got the credibility to do what's right, I hope they know how much of a jeopardy they're bringing into this situation. It's bad enough my child's from my care since January 2017. It's a sad sign of the times on a cloudy day, truly.